Now, you may not like Elon Musk, but in this video, I'm going to show you how learning from Elon Musk can make you a better indie filmmaker without having to agree with his politics. So hear me out. I'll be referencing a selection of quotes from Elon Musk that have helped me develop my entrepreneurial mindset. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you an obscure metaphysical concept that I learned from Elon Musk that has literally changed the way I see the world. It's psychological magic. So let's go. The first quote is, "If you get up in the morning and think that the future is going to be better, it's a bright day." The film community is one of the most cynical and self-deprecating online environments I've ever been a part of. It is a brain rot to me because the words that you say, your mind can't distinguish which words are jokes and which words are reality. And so if you're constantly whining or being self-deprecating about how untalented and poor you are and how difficult things are, your mind is going to start believing that. And so this quote to me means that every day that you wake up is a new chance to make things better, is a new chance to solve problems. That's a little glimmer of hope that I cling to every single day. Really pay attention to negative feedback and solicit it, especially from your friends. If I'm constantly evaluating how my work falls short, then that means that I am always going to be on the lookout for how to eliminate the negative and amplify the positive.
You can always be thinner, look better.
Because there's always a reason why something didn't work, whether it was an acting choice, whether it was an edit, whether it was a shot. And if you can have a group of people that can be brutally honest with you, and you can have a thick enough skin to not take that criticism personally, you will actually improve. I want people around me who are going to give me the business when it comes to why something isn't working. Now, here's some quotes that deal with the concept of entrepreneurship. The first one: "Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive, and determination of the people behind it as it is the product they sell." When you're hiring your above-the-line crew or your top of the below-the-line crew, you've got to find people who are passionate about the story and also who resonate with you on a creative level. And people will say, duh, like obviously you have to do that. Well, I've been on film sets where high-ranking crew members haven't even read the script. So what does that say about their faith in the project when they're getting paid union scale and they're not even reading the freaking script? So to me, that is a disconnect of the crew members' attitudes in conjunction with the above-the-line crew, the director, producers' inability to communicate the vision and inspire the passion in the crew members who are working so hard on this film. All the big filmmakers that you see that are the ones that are household names, all their crew would do anything to get that project made because those filmmakers that wrote the project or are directing the project, they believe in it so much and they're passionate about the innovation and the problem solving to get it done, and that trickles down and that is infectious. If you put all your effort into making your screenplay and your product the best that it can be, then the people that you hire who actually get it will crawl through fire to help you get that vision made. It is a mistake to hire a huge number of people to get a complicated job done. Numbers will never compensate for talent in getting the right answer. Reducing the amount of people on set of a major motion picture is not a popular idea, but I will say, as someone who is kind of outside the industry and can speak a little bit more objectively about things, I would rather have a smaller crew that are better problem solvers than a larger crew who are not good problem solvers. Here's an example. SpaceX has reduced the cost per pound to orbit by 95% compared to the space shuttle, all while delivering a superior product. How do you do that for the film industry? How do you do that for a major motion picture? What if you could do more with less people? And this isn't about like getting 3 people to do the job of one. It's about finding the people who have the imagination and the intelligence to intuit job responsibilities outside of their purview. I don't know. I'm very fascinated by the potential for innovation with regards to hiring and problem solving and logistics on major motion pictures. So this last set of quotes is in the category of risk. "If things are not failing, you're not innovating enough." Since art is more subjective than engineering, it's harder to quantify failure. But what this quote means to me is that if I was making a film and I was trying to fail, it would be something like, what is my ultimate vision for the film? How high can I set my standards? And how much discomfort am I willing to endure in pursuit of that standard? And if I max out those three maxims, then I guarantee that I'm going to fail. But I'm also going to innovate, and I'm also going to develop my grit. This feature film that I just shot, I failed a lot. And psychologically, it was difficult. But I had to just tell myself, every failure is a lesson. If I would do something on a day and then I would look at the footage and I would just like slap myself in the head and go, why didn't I do that? I would think, okay, you made that mistake today. That mistake you can't make tomorrow. And then I need to prep for that. I need to innovate that problem out of the workflow of a day. The final quote is, some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. Now, all I've been hearing lately about the film industry is that it's in free fall. And I think on some level, the people who were freaking out the most look a lot like the people in the mid-60s who were freaking out when the American new cinema was starting to rise up. I tell you who did embrace the change of the time. Steven Spielberg embraced the change. George Lucas, Francis Ford Coppola, Martin Scorsese, Brian De Palma, they all embraced change, and they end up making some of the best movies ever made. And so I wonder, are we at a similar nexus in the film industry where this change, this disruption, they may not look like the films that we were used to over the past 60, 70 years, but are we going to create something new? And I'm open to that. If you can be bold enough to embrace that change and use that change for your benefit, like some Aikido, then you're probably going to be successful, more successful than the people who are digging their heels in and say, well, I'm never going to do things differently. That's, in a way, like being conservative is not going to help you there. Now, the underlying idea behind all these quotes is a principle that has literally changed the way I see the world, and it's called the principle of optimism. There's a British physicist named David Deutsch, and he coined this term, but it's been used and sort of put in practice by Elon Musk. It states that anything which is not prohibited by the laws of physics is possible given sufficient knowledge. Here's another quote by Elon that simplifies the principle even further. Physics is the law, everything else is a recommendation. When I think about independent filmmakers, what if we were to take that idea and internalize it in every facet of our career? Does writing an incredible screenplay break the laws of physics? Does the act of raising sufficient funds to make your movie break the laws of physics? Does the act of generating enough profits to where you can then make your next film, does that break the laws of physics? No. Now that, to me, is a liberating idea. Because when I think about starting an independent film studio in Birmingham, Alabama, it's a very intimidating goal. But when I consider the fact that all I have to do is learn how to do it, I don't know, I just find it very inspiring, and it makes things a lot more simple when you put it in a way that's so bonehead obvious. I want to thank @BenLN for compiling the quotes that I used for this video. I'll leave you with one final Elon Musk quote. It is possible for an ordinary person to choose to become extraordinary. And I believe it's our moral imperative to be the best that we can be and live every day in a pursuit of excellence. So thank you, and I will see you next time.